Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to host a high-converting virtual summit that leads to your biggest signature offer launch yet. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and I have an episode that will probably feel like a little different for you today. I'm not giving you a strategy like I normally do, but more of a shift in the way I want you to think about your summit. And I'm going to start by asking you a few questions. Okay, and I don't want you to feel guilty about any specific answers or try to force anything with what you think a good person would think or anything like that. Okay, let whatever comes up just come on up and it's going to be okay. All right, so here we go. First question. When you sit to plan out your summit and your goals for it, where does your mind naturally go? What kinds of goals are you setting and thinking about? Next question. When you are stressing about your summit, you're in the middle of a planning process and you're worrying about it and whether or not it's going to work, what does not working mean to you? What parts are you worried won't work? Okay, next question. When you envision yourself recapping after your summit and deciding whether it was a success or a failure, what are you looking at to decide that? What's telling you whether or not it worked? Pause me if you have to and think about that, okay? I would guess that you went to the numbers with all of those questions, right? Like, how many people will I be able to get signed up? I hope I can get 3,000 people signed up and make $30,000 in revenue. And as you're worrying about whether or not it will work while you're planning, you're worried about whether anyone's going to sign up, whether anyone's going to buy your all access pass or the offer you launch. When you think about recapping afterwards, you picture deciding the success of the event based on the numbers, based on the people signed up and how much money you made, right? Here's the thing. Numbers are important. They totally are. You're running a business. Summits are a significant amount of work and you need to make money. But the numbers literally don't matter at all, if it's a terrible experience for the people who sign up. The numbers do not matter. You can have 100,000 people signed up, but if the experience is crappy, those 100,000 leads are going to hurt your summit and business far more than help it, because it's 100,000 people who now know they don't want another experience with your brand. We don't want that. I see so many people stressing out about the number of leads they'll get signed up for their summit, but the leads don't matter if it's a terrible experience for them. Okay? So I want you to think about this. What kind of pressure does it release if you focus less on the leads and less on the revenue? Instead, what if you focused on creating a gold standard summit experience that your attendees will want to come back to again and again? When you do that, the attendees who sign up will stick around and have a much higher likelihood of buying not only your all access pass, but your other offers also. They'll want to continue learning from you and want to be telling other people about you. It's way better to have even 100 people with that kind of experience than 100,000 with a crappy experience, right? And in addition to that, you're naturally going to see your registration soar because the entire event was created with your audience in mind rather than your list growth or your revenue in mind. When you create your event for other people, that is what makes it work, okay? And really, it's just a small shift, even though it might feel big in your mind, but it is so important. And I know I don't help with this in my outward marketing, right? I catch your attention with the numbers for a lot of you, right? And I wish I didn't have to, but I've done a lot of testing and that's what it takes for me to grab your attention. I do try to mix it up. As you see in this episode, we've done a series of episodes on giving back through your summit and making an impact. And I try to weave that stuff in a lot, but I don't want my messaging and the talk about the numbers, I don't want that to dictate the way you judge a successful summit or the way you plan yours. Get on our programs and let that dictate the way you plan yours, because that starts out with infusing yourself, infusing your values, how you can give back, starting with the experience, giving your speakers a great experience. That's where we start in there, you know? The numbers mean nothing if the experience is terrible, okay? So what does it mean to have a good experience? Right? This episode isn't as much about that. We have others that talk about the experience. I teach the step-by-step and give you all the templates and processes in our programs. But here's the shift I want you to make as you're planning your summit to get started, okay? Instead of looking at each decision from the lens of how can I get the most from this? How can I make the most money from this? Look at it from the lens of how can I get my attendees the most from this? How do I want them to benefit, and how can I make sure this benefits them? That's what will get them in the event. That's what will get them to buy after they sign up. That's what will get them excited and engaged. That's what will make them decide that they want your All Access Pass. That's what will make them decide that they want to join your signature offer, either right away or down the road, right? So to learn about our process for hosting a gold standard summit that makes you more revenue and makes your attendees want to come back to your event again and again, DM me on Instagram with the word experience and we'll chat about it. If you don't have Instagram, you can email me with the word experience. We'll talk about it there too. Instagram is just faster and easier and I hate it less. I know the experience isn't something we talk about much, but it truly is one of the most important parts of a summit. Really nothing else matters when the experience isn't there. So DM me the word experience and we'll see how I can help you create a memorable experience through your event. And for now, just thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this gave you a good little mindset shift and it helps you move forward with your summit in a way that just releases some pressure off of you. For show notes and resources mentioned in this episode, head to the link in the episode description on whatever platform you're listening on. And in the next episode, we're going to take this further. We're going to talk about the 2 must-have pieces of your summit to get the record-breaking revenue that we all want at the end of the day. Spoiler alert, that gold standard summit experience that we talked about today will be included in that. So for now, go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your high-converting virtual summit.